Probably my skills are a little bit low. Um, Hello, everyone. You're welcome back in the hall. And we are requesting people who are seated at the back, can you please move forward so that we can start the sessions? I'm requesting everyone, if there's a chair right in front of you, please move forward. Let's have our time, please. Let's move forward. Forward, forward, forward.
Do you have people from the hackathon? Do you have someone representing the hackathon?
Can you please come forward? Yes.
We're doing the second, the educational hackathon. We're going second, yeah?
So, when are you supposed to present?
After the other hackathon presents. But if you want us to present first, we can. Jeffrey had asked us to present second, but...
Let me get the panelists, the judges to go on stage, then you can...
Okay, but the educational hackathon is not being judged. Just the other hackathon is being judged. So, hi. Glad to meet you. Yeah, so, we're ready for the educational hackathon, but Jeffrey had said we should go second, that the other hackathon should go first. But we're ready to go now if you want us to. All good?
Yeah. Your presentation, the first slide says grant writing course manual. The picture on the top right is the physical examination team.
Oh, so it should be a separate slide. If you want to go ahead and separate that out, please.
Do you have your pen drive? Where that is?
Yes. You can't just fix it on the
No, because whatever I do there can actually show you. And it has to be like...
Okay. Okay. It's okay, get ready. It's fine.
Thank you very much. My name is Emmanuel from Uganda, and I'm here representing Camtech. So basically, the Camtech approach of MedTech hackathons are going to be 3 minutes. So we have 5 teams, and each team is given 3 minutes to present to us their innovation. And so the judges and the audience are allowed only 2 minutes for questions and answers. So when a team comes in front, let's give them attention. We listen to what they're doing, and then later ask them the questions. We shall have a timekeeper. So once the 3 minutes are over, every team will be clapped off the stage, and then we begin questions and answers. So please help us when you hear the bell going on saying time over. Please help us and clap these people off the stage. Otherwise, they would want to use as more time there that I would just want to continue using. So I think what I would have to do is
So the first team is going to be the Flash Emergence. Remember, it's 5 minutes, 3 minutes for the presentation and 2 minutes for the questions. Thank you. Before they begin, the second team will be the Ministra team. So they're needed at the back, at the tech table there.
Can we start?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here by names of Mugabo Julius Kwizera. I'm a Rwandan. I'm coming from University of Rwanda Huye campus. So here, I'm representing the Flash Emergence team. We are here as Flame. Next slide, please. So we are bringing up the rapid health care intervention at the community level. So that's what we are going to deal with as Flash Emergence team. So next slide, please. Previous, please. Sorry, previous. So, you know, ladies and gentlemen, you know the way Rwanda is. So the way it is constructed, you know, Rwanda is a 1,000-hilled country, so we have a number of problems. So according to the statistics of Ministry of Health, 30% of 987 people, they are dying due to different problems. So the distance to come from where the patient is or to where he's going to get the facility to the health, so the distance is still long. So we as Flash, we want to come with how can we do something which can help people to save their lives. So next slide. So we all know, so like ambulances, we saw a problem with ambulances. So the limitations of the ambulances, they come and they pick a person or the patient from the health centers and to the district hospital. But the problem of the ambulances, they don't come to the locals. So for us and the other local ones of others like Ngobji, so we love them. They are for our grandfathers and our grandparents, we inherited them. But still, they are ineffective. So like, they are slow, they are insecure, and they are even heavy. So like, imagine if that could be a mother or could be a person who is sick or made an accident and he fall down. Immediately he's going to fall down. So next slide. Next slide, please. So we present the new solution. We as Flash team, we brought up the Flash Emergence. It will be a mobile motor tricycle. So the way it is going to be constructed, so it is not the first time to come. So it have appeared some elsewhere, but we want to bring it in the new system. So the way it is going to be constructed, that it is well constructed, there is a place where the patient is going to lie, and the way it is going to be, we are going to make a cell phones, the hotline, so the people who are going, we are going to talk to people who are, we choose like a person in a certain village, we give him a free phone so that he can contact well and tell us what's going on. We have a, so you can see it is going to reach to the community level, and then it pick up a person to the health post. So it's good, I know, trust me. Move on. Move on, next slide please. So our target is it. You can ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, what are those people who are coming in front of us? What are their targets? So our target is this. In Rwanda, you know, we have 501 health centers in Rwanda. So that's our target. We want to reach to all those health centers. So like in year one, you know, we have 30 districts in Rwanda. So in year one, what are we going to earn? So we take an example. If we transport 2 patients per day, and you multiply to the 30.
So 2 minutes for questions.
Yeah, thank you. Someone to help us to give her a microphone because time is running. Someone to help us, please. Time is going.
Lovely notion, and come and see me afterwards. There's an organization based in Ghana called Maza Transport that is doing a very similar kind of work that I think could be a really useful resource for you. So come and find me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Another person? Ushers, please help us to be quick.
Yeah.
So this is emergency. Also, you can be emergency. Yeah.
Thank you so much. As you know, the infrastructure in Rwanda are not developed, especially in villages. Sometimes in local places, you find that if a car is not a 4-wheel drive, it cannot reach the places. I'm wondering how your solution is going to be like reaching in every single village with the limited environmental. Yeah.
Someone, please.
Thank you. To answer you, sir, firstly, thinking of the tricycle, we were also thinking about the geographical components of Rwanda, including mountainous areas. And this tricycle is best for those conditions. I don't know if you have ever seen one driving or passing by, but they do pass well in the mountainous areas, and they don't flip because they are stable. They are wide. I think if you studied physics, you know that if the base is wide, then they are stable. Thank you.
We still have time for one more question.
So, any question? Yes.
Okay, mine is not a question, but just to do a quick follow-up. Jonathan from Nigeria is my name. I've been involved in something similar that has worked in Nigeria, and I'm very willing to share with you ideas on how you can improve on this. Thank you.
Wow, that's great. Thank you. See, Flash Emergence is the good one. So another question, please.
Time is up for the
Thank you.
presentation and the question.
So thank you so much. These are my members.
So the next team is going to be the minister. Remember, you have 5 minutes in total, 3 minutes for the presentations and 2 minutes for questions and answers. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Afra Mohammed, and my team and I came up with a solution that can take care of maternal mortality. Which is one of the targets of the Sustainable Development Goals 3, which. Okay. I said my team and I came up with innovation, a solution to maternal mortality, which is a reduction of maternal mortality, which is a Sustainable Development Goal 3. And we came up with a company called M-Insure, that is maternal insurance. It has to do with liaising with telecommunication companies to make sure we have a safe pregnancy and safe childbirth. That's the safety of the woman until she gives birth. We talked about the problem now. So WHO estimated that we have about 1 woman die every 4 minutes as a result of pregnancy and pregnancy-related complications. And we all know that Nigeria form about 2% of the world population, and the burden of this is about 10%. Nigeria contributes about 10% of the burden to maternal mortality. As we saw our slides, but we know that the target of reduction of maternal mortality is that by the year 2030, we should have at least 70 deaths per 100,000 live births. In Nigeria, presently, we have about 800 deaths per 100,000 deaths. The solution, in looking for a solution to this problem, we came across, in Malawi, 3 students came up with an application, Android application, Maternitech. This has to do with educating the female about her pregnancy and consequences of complications that could come about from the pregnancy. But why this won't work in Nigeria is because not everybody has an Android phone. Not everybody can afford it. Not everybody knows.
Sorry, I don't know what's happened to the presentations, but they should be presenting while we are also looking at the presentations. So we give you a few minutes to wait, and your presentation becomes ready and you continue.
Okay.
Meanwhile, all the teams that have presentations should be nearby so that we save time. When one team is off the stage, the other follows. Okay, perfect. So again, you have 5 minutes in total, 3 minutes of your presentation, 2 minutes for questions and answers. Thank you. You can start now.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning. Sorry. I'll introduce ourselves again. We are Team M-Insure from Nigeria. I'm Afra Mohammed. Our solution has to do with an insurance scheme that works through telecommunication companies to ensure safe pregnancy and childbirth. in the long run, reducing maternal mortality. As we said earlier, 70,000, the aim by 2030 is to get 70 deaths, to reduce the mortality rate to about 70 in 100,000 deaths. Nigeria currently is having about 800, which is very, very high. So we said, we have one woman dying every 4 minutes as a result of pregnancy and pregnancy-related death. And Nigeria contributes about 10% of this burden to the world population. So you can see that if we solve this problem, we can actually reduce the entire world maternal mortality rate. Okay, next slide, please. So we said, we found out that there's an existing application from Malawi by three students, one medical student, two technical guys. They talked about Maternitech. It's an application for an Android phone that has to do with giving the mother information about how she can take care of herself during pregnancy to avoid to reduce the mortality rate. But why we said this won't work in Nigeria is because not everybody has the affordability to buy an Android phone. Not everybody can use an Android phone. Not everybody can subscribe to internet to use this application. So we came up with our own solution, which has to do with liaising with the telecommunication companies. What happens is that at every recharge, like we have about 91 million users in Nigeria for telecom. So at every recharge, these telecommunication companies will help us reduce 1 naira from each recharge per day from a person. So this will accumulate and to be able to cover the finances of these women that are going for this. Next slide, please. So as we said, this is our business model. We have about 7.6 million deliveries per year in Nigeria, and we said 91 million people. That's for each one mother now to take care of herself from when she gets pregnant to when she gives birth. We need about 3,600 naira. So what this thing does is that we accumulate the money. One naira will give us about 33 billion naira, and at the end of the day, we need 27 billion naira to take care of these mothers. So seeing this, we give 1% profit to the telecommunication companies each. We have two major telecommunication companies, and we have a 5% profit from all this. So we solve our problems, at the same time we get something out of it. So what we need to do to achieve this, we have to partner with the government agencies to make this to be a policy. We have to partner with the telecommunication companies and then the Ministry of Health so that they will help us to realize this by going to the primary health care, because that's actually where we intend to actualize this. Also, I would like to add that we can also use this model for any other health challenge. Any country can adopt it.
2 minutes for questions.
Yeah, thank you very much. Again, my name is Jonathan, and I'm from Nigeria. I just followed very carefully what you were saying, and I remember that there is something very similar that is ongoing in Nigeria, but though not targeted completely in the whole country. The pilot is actually going on in Akwa Ibom. It is called Hello Mama, and that Hello Mama is a similar project to address something similar to what you're doing. I'm opportune to interface with Pathfinder International, who is actually the NGO that's responsible for doing that. So I'm very much available to share with you further ideas on how you can expand what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the question. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to ask the question. My name is Dr. Charu and I'm from India. I would first congratulate you for such a wonderful presentation. It is such a great idea and the business model is definitely very interesting. I'd like just to add that a similar model has took place in the western part of India and it has been very successful. And I congratulate you, and in case you need any help, you can definitely shoot me an email and I'll be happy to help you.
Thank you very much. Please, questions, please.
So you have 40 seconds for one question.
Yeah. Someone should challenge us, please.
right, you said someone should challenge you, so I think that's what I want to do. Okay, thinking about the telecommunication industries, you said you are going to partner with to save a part of the money for this solution. What happens if they decide not to comply?
Well, we are going to sit down and have an agreement with them because they are actually gaining something out of it. Yeah.
Time is up.
Yeah.
So the next team is the CC Stripe. I hope the PowerPoint presentation is ready. Reminder, you have 5 minutes, 3 minutes for your presentation, 2 minutes for questions and answers.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm called Umutes Kalisa Barbara, and I'm presenting the CC Strip innovators. And we found out a problem of cervical cancer screening whereby people are stigmatized and other ways are not all that effective. So we are planning to make a comfortable strip, cervical cancer screening strip, that will make the screening much more easier for women. Next slide, please. Yes, the problem statement, as you usually see, we are dealing with global, the whole world, and is indicating that cervical cancer incidence in the whole world is taking more than 500,000, and the mortality rate of cancer is taking more than 200. The whole percentage taking 50%. So it is still showing that cervical cancer is still a problem globally. Yes, and in Rwanda, we found out that out of the whole population, more than 12 of Rwandese, more than 6 million are females. And among that, more than 600 females in Rwanda, more than 3 million are affected, making it 59.46%. So it is still a problem, and we are developing this strip that it can make it easier for these people to use more than even going to the hospital. Next slide, please, and I will request that you play it. Play it. These are already innovated ideas. There is a pap smear. If you've never seen one, you can see. And they're not effective. Some of them bring injuries. Others, they take more than a day, 24 hours, 4 to 5 days to get results. And others are not all that effective to bring out a positive feedback. Sometimes they are not accurate. So we are making this strip that someone can do as a self-examination, and they realize there is an abnormality or they are normal. Next slide. That is blood shedding off, meaning there is injury. And our proposed solution, of course, is a non-reusable strip that we'll be using to make cervical cancer screening so easy for everyone. And our target market, we are targeting sexually active females between 15 years to 64, and that will include high school students, university students, it will include hospitals. And how we are going to do this, we are going to make partnership with World Health Organization, we are going to make partnership with Ministry of Health and other private medical companies that can help us make this idea or make these strips reach to everyone in the primary health care. We are going to put it at 500. Already, pap smear in Rwanda, the first slide is costing more than 20,000 francs. It is a bit expensive. And the second slide. Good. Any question? Yes, please. Please, as they're asking, I'm requesting everyone. We are ladies, we have children, we have mothers who can be affected by this. So please, ask on their behalf and support us to support them. For more information, you can take the slides so that you can see much more that I didn't say here. Good afternoon.
Now, my name is Faith.
Yes,
I wanted to find out, I'm quite interested about the cervical cancer screening. So I wanted to find out what specific, you're talking about the tests that we have a bit of not being able to be very specific. So what exactly is this strip containing? How accurate is it? Are we thinking about like 90% or 100% of accuracy? What is it made of? Is it a biochemical test? What exactly is it? And what are we testing? Are we doing the cervical?
I get it.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
This strip is going to, the specimen we are going to use here is urine and vaginal discharge. And we found out that oncoproteins, E6, that can be a tumor marker on HPV, human papillomavirus, can be contained in urine. So we are going to use this strip. It will contain citric acid to detect those oncoproteins, E6. So if it detects it, it means there is HPV. So HPV, human virus for cervical cancer, which causes cervical cancer. So our main target right now is to develop a strip. Our next step is to find out more reagents that we can use other than citric acid. Acetic acid,
Thank you.
Acetic acid.
I wonder how does strip can be working, and the usual method that they use to have a speculum, and you say that you will use a urine, but we know that in the vagina is acidity, and does acidity in the vagina can interrupt with the solution that you will measure according to the acidity that you found on the strip.
Thank you very much. I have told you already that we are going to use urine as a specimen, which will be containing oncoproteins, E6. And if that strip is dipped in the specimen, it is able to detect those proteins, meaning there is human papillomavirus that is going to cause that cervical cancer. Our main motive is not to treat. Our main motive is to help people, whether those who have money or not, to find out, do I have a problem? After finding out I have a problem, what do I do? Next step, health centers. Next step, hospitals. And they can either tell you, advise you to take medication, or something else.
Time is up.
Thank you. Please support us. Your sisters are going to be affected, your mothers, your friends, everything. So please, we need support. Thank you.
Going to be, I know they're interesting, but we have to respect time, because time is also part of the innovation. The next theme is going to be about simple insurance. A quick reminder, 5 minutes, 3 minutes for your presentation, 2 minutes for the questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Ngango Dignité Fabrice, and I am here to represent the team Simple Insurance. Maybe I should start by apologizing if I'm going to talk about health. Sometimes I feel dizzy, and don't be surprised when you see me crying. So, this Simple Insurance is a cost-effective insurance platform that will give everyone access to quality health services. So what we are trying to bring is what? So there are so many insurances, but what they are doing is that the rich people are paying for their own insurances, like so that the poor people are paying for their own insurance, and when they are meeting in health centers, they are not treated equally. Some are treated badly and others are treated good. So we want to bring insurance that is cost effective so that everyone, whether the poor, whether the rich, can get quality health services. Next, please. So, for us to bring this insurance, there are so many companies that have tried to do the same thing as we are doing. So, for example, you can talk about in Rwanda, there are those companies like RSSB, there are those companies like Clama and many others that are having insurances. But they are having some limitations. So for our project, we are coming to see how can we remove those limitations, how can we reduce them. For example, one limitation that I want to talk about, they are not international. For example, if you have Mediplan in Rwanda and you have a disease that requires to go, for example, in India, how can you get there? You have to pay. You will not use that insurance anymore. So what you are bringing is insurance that can try to work globally, that can try to work internationally. Next, please. So for us, we've taken a case study of Kenya. So in Kenya, according to WHO, there are 48 millions, and 20 millions of them are considered to be poor. And for those ones, when they are measuring the income per capita for everyone, they are including the richest and the poorest. And you can see, like, they are saying that the income per capita is like $250, and but they are not considering the poor. So we want to bring insurance that can consider all of them. So for us, for our insurance, we will be, the citizens' contribution burden will be cut by 66%, and the increased insurance coverage will be 55%. So what we are trying to do, for example, in Kenya, to access the insurance, you are paying 150 Kenyan shillings. But for us, you will be paying 30 Kenyan shillings. And you will be covering 90% of your costs, 90% of your health facilities. Next, please. So that's the calculations. Those are the calculations, how we are planning to be, where we are planning to be in next years, in next months. So per year, we will be having 3.6 billion. Thank you very much. You can ask questions.
Questions?
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. I was wondering on your slide, there's where you say failed existing insurances. You include RSSB. We know all of us, at some point we use Mutuelle de Santé or Rama. I thought you would not use as a failure, but as innovator, because we all use those and it's really cheap, but how can you say there was fair insurance?
Thank you. I've heard your question. So every business, every enterprise have like success and failures. We cannot say that there is something, a company which does not have any failure. So if we could not include RSSB, for example, one of you could ask, why didn't you include it? Doesn't it have any failure? So we've tried to talk about it, even though it has the failure, but it's the most successful of those we listed. Thank you very much. Any more questions, please?
Jonathan from Nigeria. I have realized that one of the things I realized from your slide is you didn't say, whether in a sentence or in a slide, how this model will be sustained. So sustainability, how will it work out? And then secondly, I know that one key thing that actually do help issues to get sustained is I would have expected to see some community-based insurance scheme that can dive into this and then become more sustainable. So I think you can just oppose about this too. Thank you.
Hello. So when it comes to sustainability, we calculated that because of how much money we're generating per month, we'll be able to cover the average costs of...
Time is up.
Oh.
So thank you. The next team is going to be the ICOTEC C.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my singular honor. My name is Emmanuel Kobna, and I'm delighted to present to you a new product on the market, Icotec C. And this is a chest compressor that is able to administer chest compressions digitally instead of the manual way that we used to have. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are a few statistics that we gathered from Africa. According to statistics, 2 out of 10 patients that go to the emergency department of every hospital will need chest compressions in order for them to have their lives saved when they pass out. Also, according to global statistics, 100 patients who are supposed to undergo chest compressions, about 60% of them must survive. But if you come to Nigeria, the situation is different. Only 30% are able to survive when they are given chest compressions. And it's because it is manually intensive, it is energy demanding, and doctors get tired of it, so chest compressions become ineffective and the patients die. Okay, next slide, please. All right, so I'm going to tell you some of the existing interventions we have. This is Lucas 2 and then Autopause. The problem with these ones is that they are very, very expensive. I'm not sure many hospitals in Africa can afford these machines. And also, the risk of rib fractures is very high. And so that is why we are recommending Icotec C for you, because it has the advantage of giving you a value for money. This is a short video showing you how chest compressions are done globally. So this is the manual way. For those who don't know what chest compression is, this is the manual way. And this is the Lucas 2, which is operated by the Pearson model. And this one results in high risk of rib fractures, and patients die. Imagine you want to save a patient's life, and you do something for the patient to die. You kill the patient. Right. Next slide, please. So this is our solution. The advantage of Icotec C is that apart from it being affordable to many hospitals, I'm talking about 500 USD just for one, it also comes with a unique way of detecting when to stop giving the compressions. The other models, they just give compression. In fact, they just keep on compressing and compressing until you, the doctor, feels that, okay, this patient is coming back to life before you have to operate it to really stop. This one can detect that, no, the circulation of this patient has become adequate. It has been restored, and so you need to stop. And also, it uses battery power. So in a community where they have problems with light or some electricity, battery power can power it. So this is it, 500 USD, and we are making a profit of 100 USD. We know not many hospitals, again, can afford 500 USD, but we have a system whereby you can subscribe. Even if we give it to you 2 years, we believe that by 2 years' time, you'll be able to pay your debts. 500 USD is not something that should stress anyone compared to 20,000 USD or 100,000 USD. And in Nigeria, we chose Nigeria because Nigeria has over 26,000 hospitals. Thank you very much.
2 minutes for the questions.
We will accept questions from the audience.
Hello. So my question exactly is, how is your product going to work? How is it working? You haven't really put us to that. And then how do you get to it being $500? As in, what makes it cheaper? The cost of production? I mean, if it's a new innovation, so how do you come to $500?
Okay, thank you very much. I'll begin by answering the question on how it works. This one is portable. Unlike the other models where you have to use a board and then you have to put it, I'm sure you saw it in the video. You just put it on the patient's chest, then it has a way of determining how much energy and how many compressions is adequate for this patient, and it will just administer for you. And it also has sensors whereby it can detect that indeed the circulation of this patient has been restored, and this patient is about to get revived, so it will stop. That is an answer to your first question. The second one is that we are using plastic to manufacture this. And this plastic, even though it looks cheap, but it is of high quality. And so we will end up producing it and selling it to you at a cost of 500 USD, so that at least you can afford it. Thank you very much. Any other question?
Yes.
Okay.
The pictorial representation you showed looked like a tag, a name tag. So my question will then be, at what stage will this product be used? Is it before you fall ill? Is it at the hospital? At what stage will the patient be administered with this?
I'm not sure if it looks like a name tag to me, but we didn't design it that way. But it is actually something that you have to put around the patient's chest. And so, yes, so you have to open it and put it around the patient's chest, and it will do the work for you. Have I answered the question?
Time is up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, those were the teams from the Mentech hackathon. And before we go to the educational hackathon, we are going to invite Lydia to give a few remarks about the Mentech.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I wish for the slide that I submitted that has CAMTech Uganda to be displayed here. I wish to say that we are the team from CAMTech Uganda that were invited to conduct this medical technology hackathon here. So I wish to congratulate all the teams that have participated, brilliant ideas. Students worked overnight, they did some research, not so in-depth, but we thank you so much for the presentation. I wish to introduce Mukama Martin and Emma Kamuhire as the team I came with from Uganda. And I would like this conference to understand that CAMTech in full is the consortium for affordable medical technologies. They are partners with Massachusetts General Hospital, based in the US, and their purpose in the universities in Africa where they are coming is to ensure that students come up with innovative solutions to health challenges. Gone are the days when we are going to depend on foreign support to solve our own local challenges. So they do this through medical technology hackathon platforms. So what happens is this is a 2-day event where teams sit together and discuss a challenge, and then they come up with an innovative solution. In a normal hackathon of like 300 participants, over 30 innovations will be generated. Mbarara University of Science and Technology in Uganda has worked with CAMTech for over the last 5 years. The impact has been that over 150 innovative technologies have been generated in our pipeline. The university has benefited from intellectual properties of these innovations. We have a policy where 40% of the IP belongs to the university and 60% belongs to the innovator. And a lot of publications have come out of this. So please understand that we are calling upon all universities all over Africa to take up this model. Encourage your students to be innovative, not just theoretical students. So CAMTech serves as a consultancy to run medical technology hackathons in universities. Please contact us and we will introduce this model and share the benefits with you. With that, I thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much. Just keep in mind that the Mentech teams were competing, and there are going to be some awards awarded to the best innovations. Without taking much time, let me invite the educational hackathon. For them, they are not competing.
Thank you. If I could ask all of the educational hackathon teams to come and sit up here, because we're going to go one right after the other, with questions at the very end. So if the educational hackathon teams could please come and sit up here right now. If we could go ahead and have the first slides, please. There should be one before that, yeah? There should be a slide before that. Keep on going. There we go. So all of these wonderful volunteers have decided that they want to make a Next Gen U course. So there are 4 groups that are going to be presenting, some less than 3 minutes with just a couple of slides, some more like 5 minutes, and we will take questions at the very end. So perhaps I could invite the physical exam group to come up. And we're going to be hearing about 4 courses that are going to be produced for Next Gen U and for the world as a result of this wonderful experience at WHSS. Please, take it away.
Okay, thank you. Okay, first of all, midway and good afternoon. My name is Lena Wesch. I'm a medical student from Germany and a part of the hackathon group focusing on the physical examination course. Okay. So, we're a multicultural group with members from Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Germany. So, I think we can all agree that during our studies, we have to learn a lot of facts. We have to attain a lot of theoretical knowledge, and as important as that might be, we feel that it's just as important to have a good set of basic practical skills that we should learn. For example, in examining patients. It's not only important for you as future health professionals that you can give your patients the best care, but also, of course, for the patients that they can rely on you to diagnose them correctly. Okay, so that's how we came up with this course. And we intend to help students learn these basic patient examination skills on the one hand, but on the other, it's also very important to us that it's good for health professionals too, to update their knowledge or to just brush up on clinical examination. Okay, and my colleague will now tell you more about the structure of our course.
Thank you, Lena. We planned the structure like a typical clinical examination course with different modules, like cardiovascular examination or neurological examination, and each has a different lesson. So you can choose which you want to learn at the moment or which you're having in school at the moment and just learn this or learn everything. We just started with the idea now in the last 2 days. So we first had to think about the structure and know each other as a team, but we already made future plans. And the first most important thing is to keep in touch. As we are from different countries, it's, thanks to the internet, we can still work together on such an amazing project. And then you have to know that the courses, we are not making them. We are looking in the internet for already existing resources from universities, freely published and recognized. So you can really trust the courses that are on this website. That is really important. And also we have to look for competencies first, so to check that what we want to show you that you can learn are really the important things to learn. And this is what we want to do in the next time. Next slide. I want to thank again Dr. Frank for the wonderful opportunity and all the organizers here, because look, we are from different countries and it's amazing that we can work together on such a project. Thank you.
Come up and get our second slides. Great. Thank you.
Muraho, Rwanda. I go by the name of Dr. Charu. I'm a medical doctor from India, and this is my lovely team, mostly comprising of Rwandan medical and nursing students. I also have one Burundi friend who helped me in this entire hackathon process. So our hackathon title was about developing a grant writing course module for the research professionals. In the past 2 days, I met so many students, especially from Africa, who have a lot of inclination and keen interest in doing research. But what makes them take a step back is the absence of a study design knowledge and research methodology and how to get grants from and funds from organizations which are existing in your local communities and internationally as well. And with under the leadership of Dr. Erica Frank from the US, we all got the humbled opportunity to work on this project and prepare a course module on grant writing. Can I have the next slide, please? So as I mentioned, my target audience would be comprising of all medical students, nursing students, all allied healthcare professionals, researchers, doctors, and postdoctoral research fellows. Next slide, please. So what exactly is grant writing? It is an application which allied health professionals we write for funding organizations in order to get resources to do or conduct a research study and help us to make an impact for the community as a whole. Next slide, please. So the core competencies, it's very important to give you the resources online for free, but they should be reliable, authentic, as well as trustworthy. So most of the core competencies for our research grant writing has been taken or has been in accordance with the recommendations from the National Institutes of Health US, as well as the Harvard Medical School Office of Translational Research. Can I have the next slide, please? So let me just read them for you. The core competencies include application, how to make a successful application. It also includes a project. Creating an efficient project design is very pivotal for a successful grant. It includes organization, having a protocol that complies with the target organization, an ethical practice, definitely good clinical practice, and ethics with and a post-grant award management which helps to create a systematic order of using the resources is very important. Definitely professionalism and creating foundations for long-lasting relationships. The learning objectives would be to know the types of grant writing and funding organizations, to know the funding body which is appropriate for your research project, and especially the most important which I have, on which it's bold, it's how to develop the structure of the grant proposal. Next slide, please. So in the past 2 days, we actually worked on the structure of the grant proposal, which includes efficient writing skills, critical thinking skills, analyzing on what kind of study design you're looking for, and definitely cost management and budgeting. In the end, I would just request you all, whenever you get time, keep on writing, formatting, editing, and just keep on doing and doing. If you have any questions, you can definitely keep in touch with us. The next slide, please. The benefits would be to manage the grant writing project, and most important is to encourage the healthcare professionals and the scientific community of young researchers to participate more actively. Next slide, please. This was a spreadsheet which we created in the past 2 days with the help of my beautiful and lovely people. Next slide, please. We have already created a plan on how to do further and divided our activities amongst all of us, and we are encouraged enough and motivated enough under the mentorship to complete the final course module by the January of next year. And that's my lovely team with Dr. Erica. Thank you.
If we could go ahead and get the next slide. So we have just 2 more groups, the pharmacokinetics and social determinants of health. So pharmacokinetics, if y'all would like to come up.
Good afternoon. We are the kinetic groups. We came up with a module for introduction to pharmacokinetics. My name is Jen Mapesa from Kenya.
I'm Etel Mba from Nigeria.
I'm Tela Oluwatoyin from Nigeria.
I'm an Infonomo from Nigeria. Next slide, please. This course was done for this target audience: medical students, pharmacy students, nursing students, allied health medical students, as well as professionals. It was generated as a need to fill in for the need that was to give updated information to health professionals, improve clinical outcomes. Then for the competencies for this course is gotten from Euro PMC, as well as some professionals. And those professionals include Bauer and Evans, who said the competencies to be developed are to understand fundamental pharmacokinetic concepts, to understand the principles of applied pharmacokinetics, to understand the use of pharmacokinetic softwares. For the Euro PMC, the competencies are application of pharmacokinetics, structured information and uniform approach to clinical services. It's aimed at improving the clinical outcomes, that's quality assurance, to improve the process as well as the outcomes for different countries around the world. Also to improve continuing education and professional development in healthcare professionals.
Next slide, please. Okay, the course is designed to start with an introduction to pharmacology and a brief explanation of the fact that it is divided into two broad categories. Next slide, please. And then an introduction to pharmacokinetics proper. It's going to explain to the students the four major principles of pharmacokinetics, so absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. And this is not just what is going to be taught. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. And it's also going to talk about the factors affecting each of these parameters for each drug. And eventually, it's going to talk about the applications in clinical outcomes and as it affects therapeutic drug monitoring, adverse drug reactions, and therapeutic dosage design. Thank you. Continue.
It is a future work plan and shall be completed in 2018 with the help of my team members. Next slide. Next slide. Next. Please, previous one. Yeah. Finally, it is a future work plan and shall be completed by 2018 with the help of my team members. Thank you very much.
And special thanks to Dr. Eka Frank. She has been of great help. Thank you, madam.
Great, thank you. And our last group is the Social Determinants of Health group, a smaller group. Thank you, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chamba De Ronald. I'm a fifth-year medical student from Gulu University, Uganda. And I'm also working with SOSMED Global, an organization that provides training in social medicine in the US and in Uganda. I'm also a member of the Social Medicine Consortium that is working to develop a curriculum for social medicine that will be incorporated in very many universities. So as a member today of this group, I'm not alone. As you may see, with a brother of mine, Turishimwe Vital. He's not here with me, but I'm not a Lone Ranger. So our topic is designing a course about social determinants of health. What are social determinants of health? These are the conditions in the places where people live, work, or play, and they affect the health outcomes and on a wide scale. So this is a definition by the CDC. So very many of us don't get the chance to understand and get immersed in the understanding of social determinants of health. And we are left with only getting this opportunity when we attend conferences, symposiums, and all that. Yet it is really fundamental in understanding this if we are going to be good healthcare providers. Next slide, please. So the need for this course is that as the need to improve healthcare delivery is increasing, it is imperative for all healthcare professionals and health stakeholders to understand and be deeply immersed in the fundamental causes and the mental causes of beyond the biologic basis of disease. When we go to medical school, dentistry school, pharmacy school, nursing school, name it, we always consider the biologic basis of disease, and that means we forget and we are not immersed in the understanding of the root cause of these diseases. So we treat patients as just cases, not at a broader aspect, at a broader look on. So these social determinants of health immerse us in an understanding of the root cause of the diseases that we manage when we encounter the patients in the hospitals or health centers. Next slide, please. What will be our audience? Our audience basically will be healthcare professionals. We have very many healthcare professionals who don't have knowledge about social determinants of health. Doctors, dentists, midwives, pharmacists, and name it. And also students, very many of us here. I don't know how many got to know about social determinants of health before yesterday. So this course will be very, very imperative for us to take it, because on a global scale, NextGenU gives us an opportunity to have this course free of charge and will be accredited after its approval. Next slide, please. What are the core competences we want to have at the end of taking this course? One of them is understanding the social determinants of health. And this is really quite important, as I've stated earlier. The next one is addressing the social determinants of health. For example, you were encountered with a patient who has multiple drug-resistant TB. And this patient has been coming to your hospital. You have to look through deeper and say, why are they coming with multiple drug-resistant TB? Maybe they are poor, they can't afford what? Transport to come to the hospital. Okay, so the next one is please, the previous slide. New way to talk about the social determinants of health, addressing race and racism. It's really imperative nowadays. Understanding state policy and action plan to eliminate health disparities. We talk about politics. And then the last one is addressing culture, behavior, and health. And those are the sources we shall be looking deeply into. Next slide, please. Course structure. This is just an introduction. I will not read all of it, but the last bits are that these determinants or things that make people sick or not sick might be education. If you are well educated, you have good health-seeking behavior, you have a good job, you can access good health services. Physical environment, where do you stay? Is it in a slum or is it in a hilltop? Can you access healthcare easily? Or the social support from your environment. Next slide, please. Next steps. From a lot of help from Dr. Erica, we shall be able to identify resources that will incorporate in our course, and then develop assessment modules and then review them. Above all, we shall have to spread the word by uploading this course to nextgenu.org. That's the website. So thank you so much for the audience, and also I would like to send my thanks to Dr. Erica for the support. Thank you so much.
Great, so we can take questions for just a few minutes. I know people are eager to get to lunch. If you want to go ahead and raise your hands, if you have questions or comments about any of these courses, I hope that you all can see how easy it is to create courses. This is a cohort of your peers who over just a couple days managed to identify an important question that they were interested in working on collectively, to identify competencies. This is very important so that all the courses have this strong foundation, and to even start to identify resources. It really is heartwarming for me to have the collaboration of these wonderful peers and colleagues. It is important for us, for education to become more for us, by us. And even those of us who are still in training, these kinds of courses can be created with supervision and collaboration from those of us who are a little further down the pipeline. So please, if you can bring the prior slide back up, please. If you're interested, again, the brochure you can find there, the 4-page brochure that I handed out to many of you, and the letter to potentially, if you want to just use some of our courses to correspond with your deans, or you can contact me at efrank@nextgenu.org. It's been an enormous pleasure being a sponsor for this event. We've never done something quite like this before, but as NextGenU expands to become not just the world's first free university, but the world's largest university, it will take the collaboration of all all of us to be able to do these kinds of innovations together. So thank you so much to the hackathon participants, both for their work for the last couple days and for the work that I know that will happen over the next few months. And I look forward to working with all of you to use our courses and to contribute to them as well. Thank you so much. And I don't know if you have announcements, I imagine? Yes? Yes, good. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, I think without taking time, we are going to the awarding program, because remember, the educational hackathon was not competitive, but the CamTech hackathon was, the MedTech hackathon was competitive. So in that case, I'm going to call Geoffrey to come and lead us through the awarding process.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me first express my gratitude to all the hackers, the organizations that led the hacker through, CamTech and NextGenU. We are really happy for this. This was a dream when we were organizing World Healthcare Students Symposium 2017. We thought this was going to be our value addition for this event, and this was always our competitive advantage compared to other events that have ever happened before. It really took us time until we went and met CamTech and until we met NextGenU to add all this. And I'm proud to say NextGenU included the sponsorship, and it made all this go successfully. So right now, as you have seen, I'm not going to make any comment about the solutions that have been developed. It's really interesting. I saw people getting connections. I saw people being asked for contacts. I like that. So allow me to call upon the Dean of the School of Medicine and Pharmacy to come and shake hands with our hackers. This is not technological hacking. This is health solution-oriented hacking. Yeah, so all the participants for the education hackathon, you can come forward. You can come forward. There is going to be an official awarding ceremony at the closing ceremony, where we shall have our guest of honor. But today we are going to give you the awards, and you will receive your certificates on that day. I thank you very much, and I want you to come forward, come this side. Yeah, they are the hackers. These ones are developing online courses. I call upon Miriam to come forward. Yeah, Miriam is here. You can hand over the t-shirt. Yeah, so let me get the team leaders. The 4 team leaders come forward. The 4 team leaders come forward. The dean is going to give you a t-shirt, and the 4 team leaders, we take a photo together with the dean giving you this t-shirt, which is very wonderful.
I'm not sure it's going to fit for you or not, but I accept it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Wonderful. Yes. These t-shirts have got some beautiful words written on them. They don't just carry the color, but they have some beautiful words on them, and these words match with the hackathon.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So to the rest of the hackers, you can pick your t-shirts. I just wanted to have this photo. I'm trying to rush through this program so that we can go for our lunch and still catch up with the afternoon sessions that will be going on parallel. So the rest of the team, you can pass by as you get your t-shirts from the dean. The cameraman is going to be taking photos. So those who already have t-shirts can pass here as they go back, and the rest. Thank you very much, the hackers. I do believe these courses are going to be developed with the help of NextGenU. And please make sure this one takes you to another level. So as this is going on, so we are going to the next part of the hackathon, that is Meditech, that was competitive. But before I get the results, allow me to call upon Martin to tell us how it was. Then he will later hand over the result to us, and we shall get the winners. Martin, you are welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Martin Mukama. I also work with Camtech Uganda. I must say it's my first time in Rwanda, and I must say it's a very beautiful country. The people are very hospitable. Yeah, thank you so much. I also must confess that when we were coming here from Uganda, we were a little bit worried because hackathons haven't been happening in Rwanda, and this was going to be the first time for most of the people that participated. So we're wondering if they would pull it off. But I must say everyone pulled it off. And I want to congratulate all the people that participated in this hackathon. So we had 65 participants. We managed to raise 24 pitches. So a pitch is someone stands up and talks about a pain point, a challenge that a community is facing. Yeah? So we had 24 of those, and we had 8 teams being formulated. I want to recognize all the teams. So if I read the team, please stand up for recognition. Because we had a pre-judging session, that's why some teams were dropped, and we came up with the 5 that presented to all of you guys. So flash emergency. Please, the team members. Simple insurance. M insurance. CC strip. Icotech, C. We had another team that went by Team 9. Do we have those here? We had Cardiomet. Cardiomet, are you in here? Yeah, they're right there. And Safe Health. So the prejudging session produced 5 teams, which presented to you. And we had our judges that judged the 5 teams. I also want to recognize them. Judge Greenwood, please stand up for recognition. Thank you so much. Professor Mary, thank you so much. And Professor Nadia. So that is all from me. Please keep hacking. The solutions that you guys have worked on today could save a life tomorrow. And for us as Camtech, that's what we do. We empower communities to develop solutions that can work for them. Thank you so much. Let me invite Jeff to announce the winners.
Thank you very much. I want to do this very fast. I must say all the teams were good, like you saw, their presentations, but that's why most people don't like competitions, because in a competition, however good you can be, there's always the winner. So I'll not take much of our time. Allow me once again to disturb my dean to come here as I read the second runner-up. When I read the second runner-up, I'll straightforward read the winner. And after getting the winner, then, no. I'll get the second runner-up, then the first runner-up, and then the winner. I understand the logic. The logic is not going to get me down here. The second runner-up is Are you ready to give a round of applause? Yes. The second runner-up is Ecotech C. Ecotech C. Come forward, come forward, come forward. Ecotech C has 4 gentlemen and 2 beautiful ladies, and they're going to be awarded and have a photo with the dean. Yes, we are giving T-shirts by now, but we shall give a certificate in the closing ceremony tomorrow at night in the gala. Please, should you intercept those people and see the words written on those T-shirts? They are very beautiful. Yes, the future is? I expect a round of applause from the feminists in the house. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ecotech C. Yeah. Ecotech C. The team that emerged the second or the first runner-up is... I wanted to hear that. Is Flash Emergency. Congratulations to Flash Emergency for emerging as the first runner-up. Flash Emergency. I was going to say Flash Emergency doesn't have ladies. Thank you for saving your brothers. Our next please take note, follow up on the contacts, follow up on those people who told you to connect to the relevant institutions that could help in this. Yeah, let's, yeah, the picture. Yes. Thank you very much. So according to the presentations, now we have the 3 teams that presented, and in those 3 teams that are remaining, we have, of course, the winner. So the winner is, okay, the winners are M Insurance. Round of applause to M Insurance. M Insurance, a team of 2 gentlemen and 2 ladies. Thank you very much. Congratulations, M Insurance. Congratulations, M Insurance. Congratulations, M Insurance. Thank you very much. I think this has been really beautiful. The 2 days were really productive, hectic and productive. Thank you very much for your attention. I'll hand over to the MC for the next steps. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I don't want to take much time. We are going to break off for lunch, and I'm very sorry we are going to rush through our lunch, and we continue to the usual afternoon programs. We're going to have workshops and courses. The courses are still the same, the global health course, the trauma treatment and neonatal care, and workshops are going to have infectious disease. This is going to take place in Urukari Hall, and we are going to have workshop on oral health. This is going to be in Kajera, this main hall, and family planning and sexual reproductive health workshop is going to be in Kivu Hall. So thank you very much. You can enjoy your lunch now.